welcome back. That is the fifth or sixth match done of this afternoon. We've changed guests. We have CCPQC. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you could just quickly introduce yourself. What do you do at CCP?
My name is CCPQC. I'm a senior programmer in the server department. So I make sure that the server code runs well and efficiently.
All right, so what are you working on right now?
Currently, we're making sure that Dust, when it hits Tranquility, is able to efficiently communicate with the Eve cluster, and so that Eve players and Dust players can interact together correctly. Incidentally, it's also the way we want to release to third-party developers in the future. So the system I'm making right now is the new way to talk to the servers of EVE Online.
All right, right. So I was just about to ask something that may sound like a really dumb question, but how complex is connecting EVE and Dust?
That is a pretty dumb question.
All right.
It's hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been challenging. The EVE game has been running for 10 years already, so there's a lot of stuff that's been done over the years that that's not very good for PlayStation games or modern type games. So we've had a lot of work to do over the last year to prepare the servers to accept that type of input. Yeah.
Is it a one-man job, or how many people are tasked with this with you right now?
I'd say of the teams working on the server, only for the interaction part, not the design or the Dust systems, we're probably 6 or 7.
All right.
In total, yeah.
Right. And it's looking to get ready and fine.
It's the private beta is running now, and people are having fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tracking to be released on Tranquility on time.
Very good. I think we're gonna. So for a lot of EVE players, they're probably going to be interested in the third-party apps, and I think maybe we should talk a little bit about spaceships and then get back to those maybe after a tests match. But that's basically going to be a massive revolution for some of the people that make apps. We had a team that did not fill out all their slots, and we were just talking about how important that is. What do you think about the Alpha Volley setup?
I think the Alpha Volley setup, they really anticipated that Belgorn, being their flagship, probably had some sort of officer web, which means he had extremely long-range webs. I think with bonuses it gets out like 90K or something. It's really long. They wanted to provide a protective net with the Belgorn on the front line, stop some of that DPS from getting to that Oneros. But with just so many Sleipnirs, they couldn't lock them down. Those Sleipnirs got on top of that Oneros, burned down logistics, and once it was dead, that was the end of the match, just because just so much GPS from the Sleipnirs was able to get onto the ships.
I think that the Typhoon, with its exceptionally high DPS but short range, and then the Balgorn created like a protective envelope where the Balgorn's utility and the DPS from the Typhoon would create like an area where it's very hard to operate in, but with all their ships weren't under that protective envelope. They were sort of just out there, and the faster ships of the opposing team were able to zip around and knock all those vital ships.
Did they just essentially ignore the Balgor and just pass it and go for the meaty, chewy core?
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Belgorn is slow. If you're from watching the match, you're able to tell that the Belgorn was not able to get webs on the Sleipnirs as they were on top of their arrows. They had to burn back into range. So those Sleipnirs are able to get past their protective web of bigger, tankier ships and get to that logistics ship, which was the linchpin of the setup. All
right. So was this just rock, paper, scissors, bad matchup, or was it just very well played by Mildly Intoxicated?
I think Uki is a very strong FC. I think he saw that. He very quickly came up with what he needed to react, because that was a very non-standard setup from Alpha Volley Union. I think that sometimes the unique little snowflake setup is good, but I think the vast majority of the time you're better going with a sort of more generic setup. I don't want to say generic because all of them have to be piloted well and have to be thought out well. But I often like the more planned out teams rather than some snowflake team. Yeah,
and a second setup that kind of revolved around MR ships and didn't really go that well. We were actually talking about Absolutions while the game was going on. How do they fit into this tournament this year?
Like I said, I personally don't like Absolutions. They are tankier than some of the other Tech 2 battle cruisers, like the Sleipnir and stuff like that. They have that huge armor buffer, but they aren't able to rep themselves like the Sleipnir is with ASB. They do high DPS, but I like I said, I just really don't like them in this format just because of how slow they are.
Lasers are pretty.
They're pretty, but maybe not as effective.
Yeah, I don't think pretty wins you matches.
No, It sadly doesn't. Otherwise, I'd be
You would just take every year Soundwave will enter one ship and take the whole tournament.
All right, so let's take a quick look at the schedule because we do have quite a lot of stuff coming up today. Wow, that paints a bleak picture of our like left side domination prediction. Wait, that one surely I misunderstood that
You're
one.
reading that incorrectly.
I'm reading that entirely wrong. Which is funny because I actually have it in front of me and it looks entirely right. All right, so we have 3 more matches before the break. Then we have 8 more. We have Michael Bolton's own boys, Test Alliance. We have Fearless versus Goon Swarm, which is Laz's alliance. Yep. Well, that's convenient, 2 matches in a row. We have Capital Punishment and Verge of Collapse. And then, of course, we're going to take a quick break, just get everything set up for the second half of the day. This group, did you guys have any wishes on the results of this match? Were you guys speculating on mildly intoxicated or Alpha Vol Union? Was there an ideal test result essentially for this match?
No, I think mildly intoxicated would have taken it no matter what.
Yeah.
Just because I think they're a stronger team.
Yeah.
And I don't like abscess again.
Yeah. But what about in terms of just getting on to the next stage for Goon Swarm as well? I mean, you guys have Virtue Collapse and Capital Punishment. Are you hoping that any of the specific teams will win? Will that make it easier for you?
I think if Verge of Collapse were to be taken out of the tournament, it would have been. It definitely gives us a higher chance to make it through. I think Verge of Collapse is a strong team.
Yeah. So you're basically hoping Capital Punishment will win that one to put you guys in a better position. How about you guys for this one?
I think Test will almost certainly squeak by with like the smallest percentage chance of winning. Will be like the very last in the group, but then somehow sneak into the next stage. But so. I think Test is one of those teams where we're trying to do well, but I don't know if we're strong enough to sort of like be at the level we're concerned with other people's matches. We're just focused on winning our own.
All right, right. So you don't feel like you guys are going to win this tournament? I mean, surely there must be some.
Let's just say I'm not getting too confident. I think Test Alliance will almost certainly burn in a fire, but you never know.
You never know. All right, so a little bit of underdog diplomacy there. All right, well that's going to be fairly exciting. How about these? So we have Northern Coalition, Test Alliance, Goon Swarm coming up. Is there any like in coalition rivalry on TQ? Is there any teams that you guys are like, I'd really like to beat them up because I can't do it on TQ?
Test Alliance.
You guys would like to play Test Alliance?
Yeah.
Listen, there's some secret hate apparently here from Goons. Test Alliance honestly are in love with most of our coalition members. Yeah. We enjoy them and have fun, unless we've reset you recently, which. We have, but
you sound a little bit like one of those like North Korean tour guides.
Yeah,
we love our great leader. Yeah. Starving's great.
Don't think outside the box. Just follow the Test way.
No, I am.
No, but we honestly love all of our coalition members. In fact, we love everyone.
Everyone. All right. Well, that's very kind of you guys. What has Goon Swarm been bringing so far? The first 2 matches.
The first match we had Vindicators. Second match. We had the Tornado Cyclone team. Like I said, we've done a lot of testing this year.
Yeah.
And my favorite setup so far was our Tornado setup because right there at the beginning of the match we alphaed a frigate and it just died instantly as soon as the clock started. But as 12-mans, we've done a lot of testing, like I said. I haven't seen many of our 12-man setups, so it's going to be interesting for me to see. And
how many do you guys have readily available? Like how many setups, different setups, would you guys practice with?
We weren't very secretive about our setups. We practiced with just X-7, and everyone knew where we were.
Yeah.
So we just tried setup after setup after setup just to see what worked, what countered what. Yeah. And we just our anti-spy routine was just give them so many setups that they aren't really going to know what the hell we have in the box.
All right. How about you guys? How many setup do you like? How many do you have ready to pull out of the box?
Test always has our fallback team of all 2-1 frigates, but there's quite a few setups we have practiced. I don't know if I feel comfortable revealing any of them, but
just like a numerical kind of.
I would say we probably have somewhere on the order of like 40 setups.
40.
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Well, that's
not all of them are good, but we have 40 setups.
There are 40 options. All right. Well, let's just take a look at the teams coming up. It's Test Alliance versus Northern Coalition. Test Alliance, 7,000 members these days. Jesus. How many people does Goonswarm have? Is it 9,000 or
I
something?
think it's close to 9,000. I think it's around 8,800, 8,850.
Wow. Northern Coalition being a bit of the little brother there. They were
They
fairly...
won't like you saying that.
I won't like, but they certainly had a fairly convincing qualifier, didn't they? They pretty much wiped out both their teams. All right, well, let's go to the match. Let's get predictions. Laz.
I love us. They're our little brothers, but I think Northern Coalition's going to take it.
Bro, Test Alliance, please ignore.
Test Alliance. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Test Alliance as well.